Princess Twilight sat upon her throne as 3 acclaimed scholars entered her throne room. While Canterlot scholars typically remained in Canterlot School for gifted unicorns, she required their help to observe a matter of grave importance. 3 weeks ago she sent them on a mission to observe any oddities in their assigned regions of Equestria. Little did the scholars know, their reports confirmed her fears with each passing week. The 3 ponies bowed. Professor Polaris, Professor Carrot, and Professor Jones. Princess Twilight had assigned 4 unicorns to this task, but the 4th scholar, Professor Bayleaf, was not present. The professor's absence was upsetting. However, she decided to worry about that later and braced herself for whatever news she would be hearing. "Please begin," she commanded. "Yes, Your Highness," Professor Polaris said as he bowed. He stood upright and adjusted his glasses. "My observations of the night sky, week 3, concerning the stars. The stars surrounding the moon have nearly doubled in apparent magnitude over the last 3 weeks. My second observation, concerning the moon. Deviations in the moon's orbit are becoming more extreme with each passing day. Forgive me, Princess, but I believe that the moon could possibly shift into a completely different orbit if you allow this abnormality to persist." He gave another low bow. "That is all." Professor Carrot stepped forward and set a stack of research papers before the princess with a photograph of a small black crystal placed on top. "As you know, I've reported the appearance of these strange black crystals at the base of the northern mountains bordering the Crystal Empire. More of these crystals are showing up every week, yet given their individual growth rate, I estimate it will be a few months before they reach any notable size. They appear to be harmless and seem to have little effect on the ecosystem. I would recommend keeping an eye on them to the Crystal Empire, but I do not believe that they are worth too much of Canterlot's attention." She gave a quick bow and looked to the pony standing beside her. Professor Jones stood upright, but before he could report his findings, the door to the throne room burst open. Everyone jumped and looked back at the door, and standing in the doorway was a flustered Professor Bayleaf. She ran down the red carpet and fell down before the throne in reverence. "Please forgive me, Princess," she pleaded. "It's all right, Professor," Princess Twilight said compassionately, without concealing the urgency in her tone. "Tell me what you know." "I have distressing news regarding the Everfree Forest, the lands you instructed me to observe." "Yes?" Princess Twilight's eyes widened. I was testing the credibility of the local rumors regarding the sudden outbreak of irregular plant life within the forest. Well, there's no doubt that strange magic is having its way with the land. Vines, unlike any I've ever seen or read about, are growing in the forest at an astonishing rate. 36 inches per minute, to be exact. I strongly urge you to evacuate Ponyville and the surrounding communities before the vines overrun the region." Princess Twilight took a deep breath, placed her hoof on her chest, and exhaled before opening her eyes and looking upon the 4 professors with gratitude. "Thank you, Professor Bayleaf. Thank you all. You have gathered the valuable information I require with commendable diligence. I hereby discontinue your tasks. You may return to your normal schedules." The pony scholars left the room packing up their notes. 3 of them exited proudly, despite the confusion they felt from the abrupt termination of their respective missions. However, Professor Jones' head hung low as he stuffed his lengthy observations back into his bag. Once Twilight was alone, she activated her magic and made a screen appear before her. She pictured a specific unicorn in her head. A unicorn with a bright yellow coat and a light brown mane tied into a ponytail with a burgundy bow. She sent this pony to Ponyville 3 weeks ago. Her prized pupil, Celestia Sky. At this very moment she was meticulously placing valuable historical artifacts on white pedestals and covering them with glass casings. Twilight stood, and the screen disappeared as she stepped down from her throne. She made her way out of the castle, thinking about her student with every step. Despite living in Ponyville for the past 3 weeks, Sky was showing no signs of making any friends, and this deeply troubled Twilight. She had been watching Sky from Canterlot, hoping things would unfold accordingly, but she couldn't afford to wait any longer. She had to intervene. For unbeknownst to her 4 scholars, particularly Professor Bayleaf, Twilight had set things in motion that only Sky could fix. It was critical that her student complete the task she had given her. The fate of Equestria depended on it.